Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you yet to another Cutter Top 10. And today we're taking a look at a wrestling top 10. No, I don't have any wrestling attire. I wish I did. But anyway, yes. We're going to be looking at the top 10 worst WrestleManias of all time. We'll deal with the top 10 best WrestleManias next time. But this time I want to give you the worst before the best, which is unusual. Anyhow, so I couldn't really disprove any of these ones, so that's what the list gives me. Here we go. Number 10 is WrestleMania 32, 2016. It was criticized for its excessive length, questionable booking, even though that Roman Reigns beat Triple H for the WWE title, an injury depleted roster and matches that failed to meet expectations. So WrestleMania 32 was basically the accumulation of, Roman Reigns losing his title in 5 minutes to Sheamus, who cashed in Money in the Bank. But then Roman Reigns spears Vince McMahon on his way to beating Sheamus and then gets it stripped. I mean, fuck, Vince McMahon's a piece of shit. He deserved to get speared. Anyhow, Triple H set up a 30-man the Royal Rumble match to be for the WWE title, and put Roman Reigns at number one as punishment for what he did to Vince. However, Roman survived to the end, and then Triple H entered in number 30, basically butt kissing and all that. He beat Dean Ambrose for the title, and basically the fans were like applauding for him. I feel like those fans were blanking Triple H's blank, if you know what I mean. But anyhow, Roman Reigns was given a chance to face Triple H at WrestleMania, beat him. The fans didn't like it. They were making Roman Reigns a good guy. Triple H is a piece of shit. Well, in the 40, he was a piece of shit. He kind of is not completely a piece of shit nowadays. He's fine now. But anyway, yeah, Roman won. The fans hated it, just like Roman winning the 2014 Royal Rumble. Or was it 2015? Sorry, 2015. And the fans booed him. Like, they didn't like it. And then when Roman turned bad guy and turned into the tribal chief, they liked him. Pathetic. Okay, number 9 is WrestleMania 25 from 2009. This was supposed to be the golden one because it's the silver anniversary of WrestleMania. Well, the silver tournament of WrestleMania, because of the fact that the silver anniversary was 2010. However, WrestleMania 25 was not really that great. It had poor match placement, a disappointing main event, and lackluster undercard contests. Of course, it had Undertaker Shawn Michaels Part 1, which was, of course, one of the great matches ever. I mean, like, it was match of the year. And then the 2010 rematch was, too. The problem was that the placement was there. I mean, John Cena's match against Big Show and Edge should have been better. But I mean, John Cena freaking picked up both Big Show and Edge on his shoulders and had them for a little bit of time before they both fell off. But, dude, that was like 700 pounds on his shoulders. I mean, John Cena won the title and everyone was happy. I mean, that was a massive feat of strength doing it on Edge and Big Show. But the fact of the matter was that it wasn't there. It had a disappointing main event. That was when Triple H faced Randy Orton for the title. I mean, well, Cena was for the World Heavyweight belt, and I think Orton and Triple H was for the WWE belt. But the problem was that if Triple H struck Orton badly, he could get disqualified. Basically, the provisions, the stipulation, basically put Triple H at a massive disadvantage against Randy Orton. But, they could have used weapons and all that, but they didn't really use weapons. No, sorry, if Triple H got himself disqualified, he wouldn't get a chance. Or Randy Orton couldn't get disqualified. So basically, the vanilla part of it was there, and Triple H did beat Randy Orton, but, it was vanilla. And worst of all, WrestleMania 25 should have been like a Legends Royal Rumble. I mean, a Legends Battle Royal. I mean, they did in WrestleMania 17, and it worked. But WrestleMania 25 should have been, 25th anniversary WrestleMania. You bring back people who were at WrestleManias and all that. They had this WrestleMania tournament in which 30 or 20 divas from the past would fight. Worst part was the winner was Santina Marella. You heard me right. Santina Marella. Santina Marella's twin sister. It was just Santino and drag. Oh boy, if this happened in like 2025, poor Santino would be basically deleted from existence. Number 8 is WrestleMania 15 from 1999. They had overbooked matches, weak team tag team belts, and a lack of cohesion. Not to mention the finals of the Brawl for All tournament. WWE decided to do this tournament called the Brawl for All, and then the winner would get a real life fight with somebody. But basically, that turned into an injury fest, and Dr. Death Steve Williams was picked to win the tournament, but he injured himself, so it was up to Bart Gunn. Or was it Billy Gunn? I think it was Bart or Bill. No, it was Bart Gunn. Billy Gunn was still in the WWE at the time. So Bart Gunn basically was fed to the wolves because the legendary fighter Butterbean came in, the tough man competitions, and Butterbean would beat up everybody. Butterbean beat Bart Gunn in under a minute. It was disastrous and all that. They did have Gorilla Monsoon in his last WWE appearance before his death as a ringside judge, but it was all for nothing in the end. Butterbean beat the tar out of Bart Gunn. Yeah, Billy Gunn kept wrestling in the WWE. I believe this was the one which X-Pac turned on Kane and to help Shane McMahon out. Of course, Rock versus Stone Cold. It was a high-profile main event. It went over quite well. I mean, Rock versus Austin always goes so smoothly at times, And this was actually Jr. Jim Ross's first appearance in a WWE ring since his Bell's palsy ruined him in late '98. And of course, Vince McMahon didn't care much about that. So yeah, but of course, let's not forget Michael Cole was a pretty good play-by-play announcer. Unfortunately, he did kind of give away the ending when he did a promo about the Home Shopping Network, talking about like the WWE memorabilia after the show, and we'll talk with the new WWE champion. That's the problem. Rock was the champion heading into WrestleMania 15, and then we all knew Stone Cold was going to win. Oopsies. Number 7 is WrestleMania 2000. So we had a year later to the year 2000. Year 2000. So, anyhow, this failed for one main reason. They had no singles matches. Sure, they had that four corners, a McMahon in each corner, and a four-man title match between The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, and no, sorry, not Stone Cold. He was hurt. Rock, Triple H, Mankind, and Big Show with a McMahon in every corner. So that's the problem. But yeah, there was multiple people birds. A couple of tag belts, tag matches were pretty good and all that. It was this when TLC came. They had a TLC match in 2000 and it worked out. Or no, that was 2001. But yeah, 2000 was pretty good too. But everything felt rushed and unmemorable. I mean, it was memorable for Triple H winning thanks to Vince screwing over The Rock, and Triple H becoming the first heel to successfully defend the WWE belt at any WrestleMania. Of course, this is the 16th one. So, yeah, that was bad. Number 6 is WrestleMania 13. Despite the fact that Bret Hart and Stone Cold had a fantastic match, in which Stone Cold refused to quit and had the double turn, Stone Cold was a heel, but turned face or a good guy, and Bret Hart was a good guy, but he turned heel and basically shot on the United States a lot in that year '97. Of course, before Montreal screw drop. Anyhow, the overall card was weak, plagued by uninspired storylines. It was a big letdown. I mean, even the main event between Psycho Sid and The Undertaker for the WWE Championship was terrible and all of that. Undertaker did win the belt. Rightfully so over Psycho Sid, but yeah, that didn't go over so well, of course, because Bret Hart and Stone Cold had the problems, and Bret Hart had the WWE belt, but were screwed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold may have won the Rumble match that should have given him the title shot, but because of how he won it, they basically screwed him over. But yeah, Bret Hart Stone Cold was a great matchup. It gave Stone Cold the good guy push and gave Bret Hart the bad guy push. I'm not complaining. Number 5 is WrestleMania 4 from 1988. Main reason because of the whole 14-man tournament for the fake WWF Championship. 14 men decently, but then they gave time limits of like 10 minutes for the first round, 15, then 20, and then for the final would be like full anytime, like no time limit. So the show dragged on with too many short, forgettable matches. I mean, yeah, the time limits were screwy and all that. Lack of standout moments. I mean, WrestleMania 4 was pretty good. I mean, the finals were intriguing. Of course, this was the accumulation in 1988 of Hulk Hogan facing Andre the Giant at what they called the big event, February 5th, 1988, in Indianapolis, which had a 35 share on NBC. I know CH, Channel 11 in Canada had it on coast to coast, but yeah, that was when Andre beat Hulk controversially. Not only did the referee give a fast count, it was the fact that Hulk's shoulder was up at 2. You knew it was a screwy finish. And worst of all, Andre the Giant desecrated it by calling it the World Tag Team belt and gave it to Ted DiBiase. Basically, DiBiase bought Andre off. The title was declared vacant, and there would be a 14-man tournament. There would be 7 first-round matches, or something like that. No, 6 first-round matches. Andre and Hulk would get buys and would face each other in a quarterfinal. Unfortunately, that turned out to be terrible as it was a double disqualification, which knocked both of them out. Andre then decided to be in Ted DiBiase's corner when he went to the final against Randy Macho Man Savage, who fought 4 matches. DiBiase got through on the double disqualification and all that. That was set up that way. Yeah, Macho Man with 4 different robes, 4 different entrances. He was amazing that day. But yeah, Hulk aligned himself with Macho Man, and Macho Man won the belt. Of course, WrestleMania 5 would be Macho versus Hulk, but it was still good. Number 4 is WrestleMania 27. It had high expectations, questionable booking, Michael Cole being a massive douchebag, and actually fighting Jerry the King Lawler and losing to Lawler, but under Stone Cold's judgment. But unfortunately, the United GM basically gave Michael Cole the win because of Stone Cold's interference and all that. You know, it overshadowed the actual match. It's the final one. It was Miz versus John Cena, which was for the WWE belt and all that. Miz would go on to beat John Cena thanks to The Rock involved and all that. It was supposed to be some kind of finish, but then Rock inserted himself, put John Cena down with a people's elbow, a rock bottom, and Miz won the belt. Michael Cole could care less, and he was overjoyed. And basically, Miz was the champion at the time. I think he lost it to Cena, but then Cena lost it to Punk. Because this was the summer of Punk in 2011. But yeah, it was questionable booking. And basically, The Rock was mad. I think John Cena insulted The Rock or something like that. And The Rock came back to destroy Cena, set up a once in a lifetime thing, WrestleMania 28, and all that. I know it did not make the cut. That was actually the only one of the top 4 WrestleManias to happen in the 2000s. Number 3 is WrestleMania 11 in 1995. You know it's bad when they actually had a celebrity match be the main event. It was LT, Lawrence Taylor, the great NFL linebacker for the New York Giants, who had just retired, facing off against Bam Bam Bigelow. And a lack of star power, weak undercut, and an uninspired main event that had celebrity over wrestling quality. You rarely saw that, ever. But the fact of the matter was that WrestleMania 11 was terrible and all that. I mean, the tag team belts was great. Owen Hart got to pick a mystery partner, and he picked the new and improved, as it seemed, Yokozuna. But Yokozuna kept ballooning weight. He just couldn't lose weight when he had to. But yeah, so Bam Bam Bigelow versus LT was big and all that. I'm a big Yokozuna fan, but that was ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, LT won thanks to interference. It was a lumberjack match. There were WWE wrestlers trying to help Bam Bam Bigelow and football players like Ken Norton and can't remember who else. But yeah, helping LT out. But yeah, it was just stupid having LT versus Bam Bam Bigelow. And here's the thing, Diesel had a title match on the card. I can't remember who Diesel faced for the WWE belt, but he got overshadowed and all that. Diesel had the belt for almost a year. The only good part was WrestleMania 11 was the start when America the Beautiful was performed by this Special Olympics athlete who was classically trained named Kathy. Can't remember her name. I would say BME, but no. But she put on a great performance and all that. And of course, WWE helping the Special Olympics. So basically, it was just a commercial for the Special Olympics. It was because the original performers, Fishbone, had some problems. So yeah, they put the special needs person doing America the Beautiful. It was fantastic. She did a good job. Number 2 is WrestleMania 2, ironic enough. This was terrible because the WrestleMania was held in 3 cities: New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. It was held in New York in WrestleMania 1, which was fine, but then they put it in New York, but not Madison Square Garden, New York. Talking about Nassau Coliseum, Long Island, New York. And then Chicago at the, not Chicago Stadium, but at the Allstate Arena. Well, what they call the Allstate Arena, Rosemont Pavilion. And Los Angeles at the LA Sports Arena, and not at um, the Great Western Forum. But yeah, the split broadcast led to pacing issues, technical glitches, and a disjointed viewing experience. Because obviously, because here's the thing though, the New York portion of WrestleMania went first. There were no matches in Chicago or LA. I think there were some promos, but basically you do New York, and then all of Chicago's matches happened, and then all of Los Angeles matches happened. I mean, New York had the Roddy Piper versus Mr. T boxing match, which Piper lost because he used a wrestling move on Mr. T. Chicago was known for having the Fabulous Moolah. Was it the Fabulous Moolah winning the WWE Women's Belt in like a minute after Velvet McIntyre had a wardrobe malfunction? And then they had that big 20-man battle royal with stars of the NFL and WWE legends like Andre the Giant and the Hart Foundation in it. And Andre won the belt. I mean, won the thing. And Los Angeles had, not George Russell. They had Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy in a steel cage match for the belt, which Hulk won. I mean, they could have put a match in New York, then Chicago, then Los Angeles, and then go in that order and all that, which would have made it fun. But yeah, the WrestleMania happened in 3 separate cities. Pathetic. And number 1, by a long shot, WrestleMania 9, 1993. It was huge. It has underwhelming matches, awkward booking decisions, and lack of memorable action. Caesar's Palace was built for the occasion with the Roman theme. Okay, it was a theme. It was no big deal. Caesar's Palace. You had Jim Ross in his first WrestleMania as head play-by-play announcer. You had Randy Macho Man Savage also being there too, and Bobby the Brain Heenan riding backwards on a camel. They had Shawn Michaels versus Tatanka for the Intercontinental Belt, which was pathetic because Shawn Michaels, or was it Tatanka? No, or was it? I forget who it was. Yeah, I think it was Tatanka. I can't remember who faced Shawn Michaels for the IC belt. But Sensational Sherry helped that person, but no, Sherry switched over to Shawn Michaels. And then, of course, the tag belts as Hulk Hogan, the returning Hulk Hogan, who was supposed to be done with wrestling after WrestleMania 8, came back in WrestleMania 9 to team up with Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who was wearing a titanium mask because of his injuries from this parasailing accident. And then you had Money Inc., Ted DiBiase, and IRS facing them. Hulk unfortunately used the metal briefcase against IRS and got themselves disqualified and all that. Undertaker versus John Gonzalez seemed good because John Gonzalez dwarfed Undertaker because the real guy was almost 8 feet tall for John Gonzalez. But he had that airbrushed outfit with the bush around his genitals. Ugh. But yeah, he used chloroform to beat up on Undertaker and win the match. But Undertaker won by disqualification and then beat up on John Gonzalez. They misused John Gonzalez. What else was there? I can't remember what other great matches were there. So then, of course, you had Bret Hart versus Yokozuna for the WWE belt, and Hulk Hogan making a defamatory comment towards Yokozuna, calling him something that starts with J and ends with P. But anyway, Yokozuna took on Bret Hart. Of course, this match was big because the fans were chanting USA, USA, and Bobby the Brain Heenan questioned it because, Yokozuna was hailed from Japan, although Ronnie Anoa'i was from Hawaii, and Bret Hart was from Canada. But anyway, yeah, Bret Hart was going to take down Yokozuna easily with a sharpshooter, but Mr. Fuji, Yokozuna's manager, threw salt in Bret Hart's eyes. Yokozuna won the belt, screwing over Bret Hart, who had won that belt in a house show in Saskatoon in October 1992. So anyway, this was amazing. But then Yokozuna, and then Hulk Hogan checked on Bret Hart's condition, and then Mr. Fuji made an impromptu challenge that Hulk Hogan should challenge Yokozuna for the belt. And so within 30 seconds, it happened. Hulk Hogan was being pinned by Yokozuna. Mr. Fuji wanted to throw salt in Hogan's eyes, but missed, and Yokozuna took the brunt of the salt. One leg drop later, Hulk Hogan was WWE champion, and it had some kind of Hollywood ending. Well, of course, at the time, it'd be big because you put the belt on Hulk Hogan, who is a legend. But there were many problems with this, especially screwing over Bret Hart, who worked his damn tail off for the belt. All that, and that Yokozuna challenged Hulk Hogan for the belt. A lot of people called bullshit because of the fact that there is no official ringing of the bell and all that, but you know, whatever. But yeah, Hulk Hogan won the belt. Unfortunately, though, this was Hulk Hogan politicking backstage because he lost the tag belt and then he figured he needed to get out of WrestleMania with the WWE belt. There was the understanding that he would actually willingly drop the belt to Bret Hart in the passing of the torch, but Hogan chickened out. And, well, that match between Bret and Hulk was supposed to be at SummerSlam, but Hogan checking out. And then at King of the Ring in June, Yokozuna beat Hulk Hogan thanks to a fireball. And Hulk Hogan was back out of the WWE, and then he went to WCW the next year. Whereas Yokozuna ran with the title until WrestleMania 10. So anyway, yeah, Hulk Hogan being a bitch. I know he's dead. I know he's a fan favorite, but Hulk Hogan used too much politicking, and that's why his legacy is a little tarnished, don't you think? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond, and do